Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss about how do you select a transducer. So what are the major selection criteria for choosing the transducer for a particular application? Let us enlist the checklist of selection criteria for transducers. Okay. First and the foremost, you have to consider the mechanical suitability. It may be the physical size, the weight of the device, then shape, the mounting arrangement, ruggedness, in the sense rigidity, whether it is mechanically strong or not. So these factors need to be considered. If I talk about electrical suitability, so you have to take care about the sensitivity. You have to calculate the ratio of output to the input and the frequency response. You have to better plot the frequency response and check the easiness of signal transmission. Okay, will the output of transducer can be connected to CRO properly, or can it be transmitted to some other distance? That point you have to take care. As far as the environmental suitability concerned, so you have to measure the sensitivity with respect to temperature. You can take some readings also. Then self-heating effect has to be considered. Then influence of magnetic field. Then what is the influence of vibration over the stability? And check the dust and humidity, which will be influence the performance of your transducer. And how about the variation of supply frequency with respect to operation of transducer? These points need to be taken into consideration. Regarding the transducer performance, so you have to check the calibration accuracy. Is it possible to extend the range? That you have to think. Okay, what are the different methods to calibrate that particular device? Okay, then you have to take care about the measurement accuracy and range whenever you are going to select for the desired application. For example, I need to measure the torque. Okay, so you have to calculate. For example, for 10 Newton meter, for 10 Newton meter torque, what might be the output voltage? That you have to decide. Based on that, you have to check the accuracy and select the particular device. Then you have to take care about purchase aspects, whether the cost is viable, is it reasonable cost? Okay, think about all the aspects. Error of the instrument, error of the transducer should be as minimum as possible. It should show better performance. Then you have to think about the loading effect. So transducer must have high input impedance and low output impedance for reducing the loading effect. Loading effect is undesirable quantity of a transducer. Loading effect should be as minimum as possible for a good measurement device. As we know, the transducer is a measurement device. So definitely loading effect should be as minimum as possible. And also you have to take care about the transient and frequency response. You have to calculate the frequency response such as cutoff frequency, then bandwidth, all the things you have to calculate. Better you can plot some frequency response curve. You can able to calculate the frequency domain specification. And you have to determine that whether the transducer is meeting the desired frequency domain specification or not. And also if you want, you can able to calculate the time domain also, not only frequency domain, you can work on time domain. You can able to calculate the time domain specification, like what is the rise time? Is there any peak overshoot is happening? What about the settling time? Everything you can decide. Then insensitivity to unwanted signal. If the transducer is said to be good, it should be insensitive to the unwanted signal. For example, I have to measure force. So, some cases, slight vibration will be taken place. So your transducer should not be in the sensitive with respect to your vibration. It should sensitive only the force which is applied externally. So likewise, you have to follow the certain criteria while purchasing or while selecting a suitable transducer. So these factors can be considered for selecting a suitable transducer for your application. Okay. So in this session, I have mainly focused on how to select a transducer for a desired application. Finally,